Hey there, myth hunters! Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the stories that have shaped cultures and beliefs across the globe. Today, we're venturing into the land of the rising sun, Japan, a place where the line between the natural and the supernatural is as thin as a cherry blossom petal. Japan is a country steeped in folklore, where every mountain, river, and forest has its own spirit or creature lurking in the shadows. But today, we're focusing on two of the most iconic and spine-chilling beings in Japanese mythology, the mischievous Kappa and the haunting Yuki-onna. These creatures aren't just figments of imagination. They're deeply embedded in Japanese culture, influencing everything from art to literature to daily life. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's unravel the legends of these mythical beings. By the end of this video, you'll be able to impress your friends with your knowledge of Japanese folklore, or maybe even scare them a little. Let's start with the Kappa, one of Japan's most famous yokai, or supernatural creatures. Picture this, a humanoid figure about the size of a child, with scaly green skin, webbed hands and feet, and a beak-like mouth. But the most distinctive feature? A bowl-shaped depression on the top of its head filled with water. The Kappa is said to inhabit rivers, lakes, and ponds. And while it's often portrayed as mischievous rather than outright evil, don't let that fool you. These creatures are known for their love of pranks, but they can also be dangerous. Legend has it that Kappas lure humans into the water to drown them or suck out their life force through their anus. Yes, you heard that right. But here's the twist. The Kappa's strength lies in the water, in its head. If you can trick a Kappa into bowing, the water will spill out and it will become powerless. This has led to some interesting cultural practices, like bowing to bodies of water to show respect to the Kappa and avoid their wrath. The Kappa isn't just a figure of fear, though. In some stories, they're depicted as honorable creatures who keep their word, especially if you offer them cucumbers, their favorite food. In fact, cucumber sushi rolls are sometimes called Kappa maki in their honor. So, while the Kappa might be a trickster, it's also a reminder of the respect the Japanese people have for nature, especially water, which is both life-giving and potentially deadly. Now let's shift gears from the watery depths to the icy mountains, where the Yuki-onna, or Snow Woman, reigns supreme. Imagine a breathtakingly beautiful woman with pale skin, long black hair, and a flowing white kimono. She appears on snowy nights, her ethereal figure blending seamlessly with the winter landscape. But don't let her beauty fool you. Yuki-onna is a spirit of death. She's said to float above the snow, her feet never touching the ground, and her breath can freeze a person to death in an instant. In some stories, she leads travelers astray in blizzards, leaving them to die of exposure. In others, she visits homes during snowstorms, freezing the inhabitants with her icy touch. One of the most famous tales of Yuki-onna comes from the Edo period, where she spares a young woodcutter on the condition that he never speak of her. Years later, he breaks his promise by telling his wife about the encounter, only to discover that his wife is the Yuki-onna. She spares him again, but only because of their children, before disappearing into the snow forever. The Yuki-onna is often seen as a symbol of the harshness of winter, a reminder of how quickly life can be extinguished in the face of nature's power. But she's also a tragic figure, embodying both beauty and cruelty, life and death. So why do these creatures hold such a prominent place in Japanese culture? To understand that, we need to look at the concept of yokai. Yokai are supernatural entities that can be anything from spirits and demons to animals with magical powers. They're not inherently good or evil, they're complex, just like the natural world they represent. In Japan, nature is deeply respected, and yokai are often seen as manifestations of natural forces. The Kappa, for example, represents the dangers of water, while the Yuki-onna embodies the deadly beauty of winter. These creatures serve as cautionary tales, teaching people to respect the environment and the unseen forces that govern it. But yokai are more than just warnings. They're also a form of entertainment. During the Edo period, yokai stories became incredibly popular, with artists painters and writers creating elaborate depictions of these creatures. Today, yokai continue to inspire modern media, from anime and manga to video games and movies. So, while the Kappa and Yuki-onna might be ancient legends, they're still very much alive in Japanese culture, reminding us of the power of storytelling and the enduring connection between humans and the natural world. Now let's get to the question you've all been wondering. Who's more terrifying, the Kappa or the Yuki-onna? On one hand, the Kappa is a mischievous trickster who can drown you or suck out your life force. Pretty horrifying stuff. But on the other hand, the Yuki-onna is a silent, deadly beauty who can freeze you with a single breath. The Kappa's danger is more physical and immediate. It's a creature you can see and, in some cases, outsmart. The Yuki-onna, however, is more psychological. She's a spirit, an ethereal being that appears out of nowhere and disappears just as quickly. Her beauty is part of her danger, luring you in before she strikes. But here's the thing, both creatures are deeply tied to their environments. The Kappa is a creature of water, reminding us of the dangers lurking beneath the surface. The Yuki-onna is a creature of snow, a reminder of how quickly nature can turn deadly. So who's more terrifying? It depends on your perspective. If you're more afraid of physical harm, the Kappa might be your worst nightmare. But if you're more freaked out by the idea of an unseen, unstoppable force, the Yuki-onna might give you chills. As we wrap up, let's talk about the legacy of these mythical creatures. The Kappa and Yuki-onna aren't just relics of the past, they're still very much a part of modern Japanese culture. You can find Kappa statues near rivers and ponds, serving as both a warning and a form of protection. And the Yuki-onna continues to inspire artists and writers, appearing in everything from classic literature to modern horror films. But beyond their cultural impact, these creatures remind us of something deeper, the power of storytelling. For centuries, humans have used myths and legends to explain the world around them, to teach important lessons, and to connect with each other. So the next time you hear a story about a Kappa or a Yuki-onna, remember that it's not just a tale, it's a window into a culture, a way of understanding the world, and a reminder of the enduring power of imagination. And there you have it, the fascinating, terrifying, and utterly captivating world of Japanese mythical creatures. From the mischievous Kappa to the haunting Yuki-onna, these beings are more than just legends. They're a reflection of the culture, values, and beliefs of the people who created them. Whether you're drawn to the trickster nature of the Kappa or the chilling beauty of the Yuki-onna, one thing's for sure, these creatures will stay with you long after the video ends. So the next time you're near a river or caught in a snowstorm, keep an eye out. You never know what might be watching. Thanks for joining me on this journey into Japanese mythology. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow myth lovers. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an epic story. Let me know in the comments, which creature do you find more terrifying, the Kappa or the Yuki-onna? Or do you have a favorite Japanese mythical creature I didn't mention? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep exploring the stories that shape our world. Stay curious, stay adventurous, and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe for more mythical adventures.